Welcome back to the Explainer. So if you want to understand exactly how artificial intelligence is fundamentally rewiring the global financial system, you are absolutely in the right place. Today we're unpacking the key insights and the strategic guidance from the World Economic Forum's AI Playbook for Financial Services 2026. We are cutting straight through the hype. We're going to focus purely on the transition from early AI experimentation to massive, scaled deployment, the explosive rise of agentic AI, and exactly what it takes to build a robust foundation for responsible integration. It's a massive shift, and we're mapping the whole thing out for you right now. Okay, let's dive right into this. Before we get bogged down in complex enterprise architectures, we really need to ground this macroeconomic shift in a very relatable human reality. Get this, 71% of banking consumers globally say they would actually welcome an AI assistant in their primary bank's mobile app. This isn't just some tech push coming from the top down. It is a massive demand pull from consumers. They're ready for a smarter, much more proactive financial experience. To make sense of all this transformation, we are breaking it down into 5 key stages today. First, the new AI reality. Second, from pilots to scale. Third, the rise of agentic AI. Fourth, building the AI foundation. And finally, number 5, governing the AI future. All right, starting things off with part 1, the new AI reality. We are seeing a truly dramatic shift right now, primarily because AI has crossed a critical threshold. We've moved way past those clunky, basic chatbots and into systems capable of actual, complex reasoning. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer speed of what's happening. Just look at the steepness of the adoption curve for generative AI. It is aggressively dwarfing the historical rollouts of the PC, the internet, and even mobile phones. It took decades for those earlier tech waves to reach mass saturation, right? But Gen AI, it's hitting similar penetration in a fraction of the time. It is literally forcing financial institutions to adapt at breakneck speed or get left in the dust. And the real implication of that rapid adoption brings us to a wildly powerful quote from the playbook. It states that AI, therefore, decouples headcount from organizational capacity beyond what was previously possible. I mean, really think about that for a second. This is not just a minor efficiency upgrade or a software patch. It is a fundamental structural disruption. For the very first time, a financial institution's operational output and its sheer capacity are no longer strictly tied to how many humans it employs. Moving on to part 2, from pilots to scale. Because this technology is so incredibly potent, the era of isolated, quote-unquote, no-regret experiments, like a single team testing out a basic coding assistant, that era is officially over. As the timeline charts out here in phase 1, institutions were piloting AI on simple back-office processes, mostly just trying to trim costs. But now, we are aggressively pushing into phase 2, which is all about scaling AI to handle end-to-end, highly complex workflows. And the ultimate destination here is phase 3, complete transformation. We're talking fully AI-enabled customer experiences and a central, intelligent digital brain essentially running the enterprise. Now, to see where these institutions are actually placing their bets to pull off that transformation, let's take a look at this survey data from NVIDIA. Unsurprisingly, data analytics at 68% and generative AI at 61% are the current heavyweights in terms of focus. But take a close look at that third category. 42% of institutions are now actively focusing their investments on agentic AI. That is a massive, rapid spike in funding for capability that honestly was barely even on the radar just a couple of years ago. Which brings us perfectly to part 3, the rise of agentic AI. So what exactly is drawing all of those investment dollars? Well, it's this mind-bending frontier of technology. Now, what's really interesting here is how we de-jargonize this. Agentic AI isn't just a fancy search engine that fetches an answer for you. It is a proactive digital steward. It has the ability to take a highly complex goal, break it down into logical steps, coordinate multiple specialized AI agents, and autonomously execute a multi-step workflow to actually finish the job. Getting a bit more specific, these systems have absolutely incredible capabilities. They can utilize external tools and APIs, which essentially means they can securely interact with software and make changes on their own. They can trigger downstream steps, and they know when to escalate exceptions. But here is the absolutely critical takeaway you've got to remember. The ultimate value of these agentic systems lies in the human-AI partnership. They learn continuously from human feedback. So we're talking about supercharging human augmentation here, definitely not total human replacement. Let's ground this rather futuristic vision with some very concrete examples of agents that are operating in the banking value chain right this second. In finance and treasury, you have liquidity forecasting agents continuously predicting cash positions. Over in operations, document processing agents are autonomously extracting and validating messy, unstructured data. And in customer engagement, conversational banking agents aren't just answering FAQs, they are handling entire inquiries and processing transactions end to end. This isn't some theoretical roadmap. These agents are active in the wild today. That leads us to part 4, building the AI foundation. Here's the harsh reality. You cannot just plug these highly autonomous agents into legacy 1990s banking software and expect them to work. The back-end overhaul that's actually required is massive. Institutions desperately need an enterprise intelligence platform. Notice those unified layers right in the middle. You've got a foundational data layer feeding directly into an AI reasoning hub, and it's all wrapped up in very strict AI controls and responsible governance. This platform effectively acts as the connective tissue, translating raw general intelligence from large language models into highly secure, specialized, decision-ready outputs for the business. Let's move along and see how this actually builds out, because this architecture demands 4 absolute non-negotiable foundational investments. Step 1, you have to restructure your data into resilient, reusable platforms. Step 2, you have to upskill your human workforce so they can effectively supervise these systems. Step 3, AI-specific risk management absolutely must be integrated into the core enterprise risk spine. And step 4, broad operational principles have to be embedded into rigid, responsible AI governance structures. Without these 4 steps locked in, trying to scale is just a recipe for failure. And as leaders build out this foundation, they're constantly facing a really deep strategic tension. The question is, do you build it in-house or do you partner up? Building in-house is great because it retains all your valuable intellectual property and guarantees total data sovereignty. But on the flip side, partnering with massive cloud hyperscalers gives you incredibly rapid access to cutting-edge capabilities and highly cost-effective scale. What we're seeing right now is most firms opting for a hybrid approach, giving them the agility to move fast while intentionally avoiding total vendor lock-in. And finally, we arrive at part 5, governing the AI future. Look, as we scale this incredibly powerful technology, getting the guardrails wrong doesn't just hurt a single bank's bottom line. It genuinely risks global financial stability. To give you a sense of just how seriously the industry is taking this, a staggering 74% of financial services players cite data privacy and protection as their leading AI-related risk barrier to scaling, and that makes total sense. When you unleash autonomous agents capable of acting on highly sensitive financial data, protecting that data from leaks or adversarial attacks instantly becomes the absolute paramount concern for the entire enterprise. So how exactly are they mitigating these risks, especially the looming threat of unreliable black box outputs from external vendors? Well, they're getting highly tactical about it. Institutions are now deploying multi-agent systems, where one AI basically acts as a fact-checker for another AI. They're also pivoting towards small language models, or SLMs, that are trained strictly on their own proprietary data. Plus, they are building massive third-party gateways and firewalls, and mandating incredibly rigorous independent testing before any model ever gets to touch live customer data. So the crucial point here is how a massive institution actually operationalizes all of this without completely suffocating innovation. The playbook outlines a brilliant 3-tiered scalable path. Tier 1 is all about establishing a single internal control taxonomy across the entire enterprise. Then, Tier 2 applies highly stringent deep dive model risk management specifically for your critical predictive models. And finally, Tier 3 layers on top those strict, jurisdiction-specific compliance rules, like the EU AI Act. Together, it creates a highly scalable, totally adaptable safety net. Ultimately, the playbook's absolute best advice can be summed up in this one quote: "A 2-speed implementation model sustains momentum." Basically, financial institutions have to master the very delicate art of moving at 2 speeds simultaneously. On one hand, they need to leverage AI to deliver those near-term, highly visible productivity gains today. But while doing that, they must be meticulously and quietly building out those massive, secure enterprise data foundations that are absolutely required for long-term transformation tomorrow. And that leaves us with one incredibly provocative thought to end on today. As these agentic capabilities mature, When an autonomous digital agent is actively sweeping your deposits, optimizing your investments, and making proactive financial decisions totally on your behalf, who actually owns the relationship with you? Is it the legacy bank that holds your money, or is it the AI agent that's optimizing it? It is a profound question about the future of consumer trust, and it's one that literally every financial institution is going to have to answer. Thanks for joining the Explainer today. Keep asking great questions, and we will catch you in the next one.